All right, are we live? Seeing if my phone is going to work right now. So let's see if it's recording. All right, we've got some viewers. Hey guys. Perfect. It said I had low connection, so I'm glad that it is working. So we'll wait another minute for everyone to get on. We've got 5 people viewing so far. So we'll allow everybody to get on. Hey Kina. So glad you guys are watching for the BNI education. Today's education is going to be all about the application process, so it's going to be super fun stuff. I'm really excited to be able to provide you guys with this education today. So every Wednesday I will be on here to provide you guys with BNI education on all different roles, responsibilities, processes. So anything you guys want to learn, comment below and I will add that to the list of education topics for future weeks. Hey Danny, so glad you guys are watching. I see Steve Elliott is on, so hey Steve. So we've got 7 people on, so I'll wait just another minute, see if a couple more people hop on since it's just a little bit past 3 o'clock now. So we'll just wait one more minute. Perfect. Thank you so much, Danny. Yes, please send invites to your fellow members. This is intended for all levels of BNI members to view. Hi, Ernie. Good to see you. Glad you're watching. Hey, Christian. So glad you guys could join me today for the education. Happy Thanksgiving tomorrow, everybody. So for those of you who don't know me that are going to be watching this video later, my name's Kristen Gear. I am the area director for the Northeast Valley for BNI Arizona, and I've pretty much held every role possible in BNI. So I definitely know all the information. If you have questions about things along the way, definitely let me know. As I go through these education topics, if you have questions, comment below, and I'll be able to answer all the questions at the end of the training. And if it doesn't pertain to this specific topic, I'll reach out to you separately and be able to answer any questions that you may have. So today's education is all about the application process. So how many of you have had questions wondering how long it takes for a BNI application to be approved and then entered into BNI Connect? There's so many different variables to the process, so I want to make sure everyone knows the entire process. So it looks like more people are jumping on, so super excited to see everybody. Perfect. So we're going to go ahead and get started. That way, anyone who misses it, they can rewatch this afterwards and be able to get all the information. So the first step of the application process starts with the chapter meeting, right guys? So imagine this. You have a perfect meeting. Lots of energy, super exciting, visitors in the room, and during the I have portion, all of the visitors are commenting how much energy that they love, the camaraderie in the chapter. There's definitely a buzz in the chapter, right? So the application process really starts at the end of the meeting. So where it starts is with you, presidents, that are joining me today, and secretary treasurer. So at the end of the meeting, after that I have portion, presidents, you're thanking the visitors for being there, right? Because the meeting is for what, guys? The visitors. So we want to wrap the end of the meeting all about the visitors. It's all about them. So presidents, make sure that you thank the visitors. And then secretary treasurers, when you're doing that secretary treasurer verbatim statement, this is where you guys need to shine. You need to have the energy. You need to don't just stand in the front of the meeting and read that verbatim statement. You want to keep the energy high. The visitors are loving the energy, and making that verbatim statement high energy is going to make them want to fill out an application that much more. So, Secretary Treasurers, make sure you practice that verbatim statement. I know that one that I've seen done really well recently is Brian Weaver in Platinum, and he did just win Secretary Treasurer of the Year, so chances are he's doing some things right. And what he does is he actually has that verbatim statement memorized. He has a lot of energy, a lot of passion. Hey, Karen! And he brings it every single week. Even if you don't have visitors in the room, Secretary Treasurers, this is where you get to practice that verbatim statement and try out different options. I know some chapters, when you're saying the 1, 2, 3, you have the entire chapter say 1, 2, 3 to just keep that energy going. So it's up to you and your specific chapter on how you want to present that, but make it high energy, because what you're going to do at the end of that verbatim statement, you're going to invite those visitors to the back of the room with the visitor host orientation facilitators and the membership committee's applications chair. So, another great tip, and what I've actually seen done a couple years ago from Adrienne Hart in Connectors, was after she was done giving that verbatim statement, she invited all of those visitors to go out with her to talk to the visitor host orientation facilitators. And if she noticed any one of the visitors was sitting down still, she would call them out by name, or even make sure that she got their attention so that way they were following her out to the outside of the meeting. So you want to keep that energy high. Get those visitors wanting to go out, get their questions answered, and learn all about that application process. So once the visitors are going out of the room, talking to the visitor host orientation facilitators and the applications chair, visitor hosts, you want to make sure that you have applications ready. So be prepared. Make sure that you have those applications back there. Another great tip is on the applications in your chapter, write the chapter name. This is one of the missed areas on applications, is the chapter name. So chapters, if you have applications at your chapter, pre-filled your chapter name, because most likely visitors visit multiple chapters to figure out which one is right for them. So if they're not sure exactly which chapter name you have, because all of the members know what the chapter name is, but visitors, it's pretty overwhelming for their first time going to some of the chapters. So having that chapter name filled out will help them tremendously. Another couple application tips. This application date on the top here, this application date is actually going to be the date of membership for that applicant, which is super important to make sure that when an applicant submits an application, that membership committees that we're processing this within 2 weeks or less, because this date is going to be the date that our BNI office inputs as their membership date. So if someone submits an application for your chapter and maybe they're going on vacation for a month and not coming back, make sure that you update this date for when they come back and when you start that application process. That's going to be super important. Another missed area is this area right over here where it has the sponsor name. So guys, make sure that their sponsor is filled out. This can be the person that invited them to BNI. It doesn't have to be a member in your specific chapter. So if it's a member in another chapter, make sure that their name gets put there and gets credit for that, because we do have the Gold Club, which any member that sponsors 6 or more new members gets entered into the Gold Club. So we want to make sure we're giving those members credit if they're sending members your way into your chapter. Another big miss on the applications is the back. So when someone's submitting an application, let's make sure that they're filling out this reference section on the back, because this piece also gets missed. So visitor host orientation facilitators, when you get this application, you're walking them through the process, and I'll actually do a separate education on some tips and really great strategies on how to present the application. But make sure that they get this information. Another great tip is a visitor information sheet, and we've created one of those as well. So let me know in the comments below if you want me to send this to you. What this information sheet does is it has all of the information on where that visitor needs to send the application. It also tells them about the chapter dues, the application process, making sure that, letting them know that we're going to be checking references and also setting up interviews with them, as well as letting them know about our BNI mentor program. So giving them all the information right up front. What I love to do is once a visitor visits my chapter, I will email them this information also with a link to the online application. Now, just remember that the online application, though, is not connected to BNI Connect. I'm going to repeat that. The BNI application online is not connected to BNI Connect. So what that means is it's just a fillable PDF. So when a visitor submits an application, if they've said that they've submitted it online, you want to make sure that they are emailing it to the vice president or the applications chair on the membership committee. A lot of times they think that if they submit it online, that it'll automatically send it to you guys. So you want to make sure we're communicating with the visitors and letting them know that they can fill it out online, but to either save it to the computer or print it out and bring it next time. So they can either email it or bring it with them to the next meeting. So this information is really, really helpful for that process. So if you guys are in a chapter that doesn't have a membership committee's applications chair, visitor host orientation facilitators, once you receive that application, you want to make sure that you get it over to the vice president as soon as possible. So that way the membership committee can start processing that application. And so membership committee, once it gets to you, you're going to start vetting the applications. But before you guys start that application process and vetting those new applicants, you want to make sure that you have all the documents first. So you want to make sure that you have the application. You want to make sure that you have full payment. So that's application fee and annual dues. You want to make sure that you have both. If for some reason that application is declined, that applicant will get a full refund. The $150 application fee as well as the annual dues. So let them know that once they pay those fees, if their application isn't approved, they're going to get a 100% refund. And then also, if that person is transferring in from another chapter, you want to make sure that you also have the approved transfer form request. So if you have any questions on where to find the transfer form request, let me know. It's in the membership committee's leadership team manual, but you want to make sure that it is approved through the main office before you start the application process. I've seen too many times to where a visitor has submitted an application, they don't submit payment yet, and the membership committee starts to go through the process and spends all the time doing interviews, calling references, doing all of the background work, and then once it's time to induct them, the applicant decides, oh, well, I don't have the funds to submit the application right now. So the membership committee spent all of that time doing the application process where they could have been spending that time on somebody else. So please, 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 membership committees, make sure that you have all the information before you start going through and vetting those applicants. So once you get all of the information, so members, if you're watching this, there's a lot behind the scenes, right? So once an application is submitted to our membership committee, membership committees are setting up interviews, they're contacting the references. A great tip, because I know that membership committee members that are on here, I know that you've had times where you haven't been able to get a hold of references. So a really great tip is to email the information to the references. That way they can email really quick right back all the answers that you need for the questions. So that's a really quick and easy way to get the information back from references. So you can just simply copy and paste the reference questions, and you can find these questions in the membership committee manual in BNI Connect. So if you have questions on where to find that, I can definitely help you with that as well. So that's a really, really great tip. But also membership committees, make sure to reach out to the applicant's potential power team members to get feedback as well. And members, when an applicant applies to the chapter and maybe there's either a conflict or there may be a little bit of overlap with the categories, here's a great tip and information. Make sure that you communicate that information with the membership committee. Don't communicate that directly to the applicant, because we don't want to create friction with the applicants in our chapters. So make sure if there's any issues, or even if there's great information that you know about with an applicant that's applying in your chapter, communicate that with your vice president and your membership committee, because that's going to be great information to know. As far as category conflicts, if there's someone applying to the chapter, even if they just visit your chapter, make sure that any communication regarding that is going straight through the membership committee, guys. That's their job. So make sure that all of that communication, good, bad, or other, is going through the membership committee. Okay? All right. So once we finish vetting all of the information, and you have the interviews, and interview questions are also in the membership committee leadership team manual. So if you guys are listening to this and you're like, interview questions, I didn't know that they existed. Well, there are 2 sets of interview questions in the manual. So definitely make sure to utilize the manual that's in BNI Connect in the document section. It has a lot of great helpful information for you to use. So once you guys have vetted the applicants, we want to make sure that we're communicating with the applicants along the way, because we want to make sure that we update them on the status. So if we're having issues connecting with a reference, we want to make sure that we communicate that with them, so that way they know exactly where we are in the process, because a 2-week process could seem like an eternity for a visitor, especially if they're attending the meetings and maybe not hearing from us. So let's make sure that we can communicate with the applicants as much as possible, and make sure that we get this application either denied or approved within 2 weeks or less. Okay, 2 weeks or less. Once an application is approved, well, actually, let me back up. If it's denied, vice presidents, make sure that you sign off on the back of the application. So right underneath where the references are, there's a spot, vice presidents, where you can approve and deny an application. So you want to make sure that you sign off on it. If it's a denial, make sure that you send this denied application with proof of payment over to the main office. That way we can submit for a refund. If we don't know that the person is declined, we don't know to submit the refund. So make sure that we get that information as soon as possible. Now, if the application is approved, here's the steps to take. So the first step, if it's approved, vice president, you're going to sign off that it is approved. The next step, it's going to, if the application is a first-time BNIer, so if the person that's submitting an application is first time in BNI and not replacing a representative in your chapter, you're going to send the application as well as the payment information and any other supporting documents that are needed with the application over to the Secretary Treasurer. Secretary Treasurers, you're now going to enter this application into BNI Connect. So this is a brand new process as of last year. So those leadership team members that are watching this that may have been on leadership team in the past, this is going to be new as of last year, and all of the information is in the leadership team manual in BNI Connect. So Secretary Treasurers, you're going to enter in the application information. You'll be able to find this if you log into BNI Connect, go under Chapter Operations, under Member Management, and you're going to click on Enter New Application. So remember, this is only going to be if someone this is their first time in BNI and they're not replacing a representative in the chapter. If they've been in BNI before, or if someone is doing a rep change for someone in the chapter, you're going to send the information straight to the main office with the details that they've been in BNI before. If you're wondering, I don't know if they've been in BNI before, well, there's an awesome question on the application asking if they've been in BNI before, and hopefully during the interview process through the membership committee, you guys have learned if they've been in BNI before as well. So make sure that that process gets completed, because if the Secretary Treasurers enter in someone that's been in BNI before, it definitely creates havoc on the back end side in BNI Connect with double entries for profiles, and it takes a little while longer to get everything situated. So if they've been in BNI before, or if it's a rep change, make sure just to send the information straight over to the main office, and we'll be able to add them into BNI Connect on our end. So once everything is sent over to the BNI office, so you can email the application, payment, and if you have supporting documentation like the approved transfer form, you want to send everything together. So not in pieces, because if you send bits and pieces along the way over to the main office, it will delay the process. So we want to make sure that we have the application copy front and back, because we need to see this approved spot here, because that's the agreement with the chapter that you guys are approving or denying that member into BNI. So we want to make sure that we have the back as well. So front, back of application, payment information, and then any supporting documentation, just like the transfer form, and it would need to be an approved transfer form. So make sure you send all 4 items over to the main office. This can either be emailed, so at office@bniarizona.com, or you can drop it off to the main office. Maria will be at the office Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. You can also call ahead just to check to make sure she's there as well, but she's there 5 days a week. And this will, if all of these steps are completed, then it'll be a smooth 3-day or less turnaround process for members getting added into BNI Connect. All right, so I'm going to recap this for you guys. Oh, and another piece I just added yesterday. So I created a new member application checklist, which is awesome. So this will actually have all of the steps that I just listed out, making sure that the application is filled out correctly, making sure that the leadership team, vice president, signs off on the back, as well as the Secretary Treasurer, adding them into BNI Connect, and then listing out exactly what needs to be sent to the BNI office. So if you love this form, message below, and I will get this sent over to you. Your directors of your chapter also now have a copy of this documentation, since I just created it yesterday. So brand new, just for you guys. So definitely let me know if you need any of these documentations. So remember guys, it starts from the meeting. High energy at the meeting, making sure that you're recognizing those visitors at the end of the meeting, presidents, then Secretary Treasurers, creating high energy during that verbatim statement, because we want to make sure that that energy is continuing throughout the meeting. We don't want to just sit there and read the verbatim statement. We want to create some energy behind it. It's an exciting time that we're giving them the information about how to apply for the chapter. So that's pretty awesome. Then making sure that they go out with the visitor host orientation facilitators and the membership committee's applications chair. That's where they get the wonderful application and all the information needed on how to apply, where to apply, who to connect with. Then it goes right over to our membership committee where they're going to go over the application, make sure everything's there, making sure the payment is made, making sure we have any supporting documents. They're going to set up the interviews, contact references, connect with the power teams. Members, remember, if you have information or feedback regarding that applicant, communicate that directly to the membership committee. That's their job. Remember, do not communicate any conflicts with the applicant directly. That membership committee will handle everything for you guys, I promise. And then once everything's handled through the membership committee, if it's declined, that application is going to go to the main office with the application payment so we can submit a refund. Or if it's approved, that application and information is going to go over to the main office as well as any supporting documentations. It's all going to be sent together, not in bits and pieces, all in one email. If you send it via email, we want to make sure that we have everything together, because any misstep in this process is going to delay getting those new members into BNI. Because once it gets over to the main office, all we have to do is literally click a button, confirm payment, and they are in BNI Connect. It's that easy, guys, but we're finding a lot of people are missing some of the most important pieces, either missed information on the application or missed documents, especially the back of the application. So please make sure that we have all of the information together, getting sent over to our main office, and it'll make the process that much smoother. So once we get them into BNI Connect, Maria at the main office is also adding the new members to the list to make their name tags. So another important piece on the application is where they want, what do they want on their name badge? Because some members want an abbreviated piece to their name, or if they're a doctor, some of them want doctor in front of their name as well, because I know I've had several of those created for some members in my chapter too. So we want to make sure that we have the exact listing of what they want on their name tag, because if Maria is needing to contact some of the chapters back, it's playing phone tag, making sure that we have all the information needed in order to process the application. So make sure that everything is filled out correctly. We have multiple eyes viewing these applications through the chapter, from visitor host, membership committee, vice president, secretary, treasurer. So there's 4 sets of eyes. Make sure everything is filled out, guys. It's super important, because if everything's filled out, we have all the documentation, it's going to make the application process so smooth, and the new members are going to be super happy because they're going to be able to have access to BNI Connect that much faster. And that's awesome, right, guys? All right, so let's look at these questions here. So Christian, yes, we can definitely get you those, the documents, especially the checklist. Yep, Chelsea, I'll get you that checklist too. Does anyone else have any questions about the process from start to finish? We'll give you a second in case someone has any questions. And absolutely, Rob, and that was going to be the bonus at the end. So for watching this video today and any of my Wednesday education videos, you get 1 CEU. So make sure that you log the CEU in your BNI Connect app, and you can log it under the podcast option. So it'll be 1 CEU for watching this video today. Thank you, Rob. Awesome. Thanks so much for watching, Steve. I appreciate it. Perfect, guys. Well, that concludes today's education. And then we will see you next Wednesday, where we're going to be going over the visitor host entries and the visitor entries in BNI Connect. So there's a lot of cool new things with our new Engage system. If you haven't heard of Engage, I will tell you all about it next Wednesday. And I'll give you even more tips, tricks, and possibly even some more checklists. So thanks, Michael Jambrone. It's because my hair is not the greatest, so I'm supporting the BNI hat today. And I will also be recording these videos on a YouTube channel as well, but I will leave this video up so that way any BNI members can watch it after I'm done, and you can tag your fellow members so they can watch this too. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving, guys, and have a great day. We'll see you next Wednesday.